So going into our first topic or first news segment of this week, do you remember? I think it was over the weekend, maybe we were hearing that Rosario Dawson, who was known for, she was in the Netflix series, right? The Marvel Netflix shows,
Yes, Night Nurse, I think is what not her actual name, but like the character she is.
and she was the
Like,
only one, like the only character that was in all the shows, wasn't she?
I think
At,
so.
at some, I feel like she, I don't remember. Yeah, she was in Iron Fist, so I'm pretty sure she was in all of them.
Yeah. I mean,
But
there's
anyway,
Defenders, but yeah,
yeah.
that doesn't count.
But anyways, so it came out that apparently she's being brought on to the Mandalorian season 2, playing the animated now live action character Ahsoka Tano.
Which is the best thing, because, like, if anyone doesn't know, though I do not know how much of this audience overlaps with the animated Star Wars stuff, Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean it
From
was
the
the
Clone Wars animated movie and TV show.
yeah, and now the movie's not that good, and I know a lot of people going into it, they were kind of thinking, well, plot holes, kind of. We never really understood that, or never knew that Anakin had a Padawan. How did you really make it work? And if you've seen from season 1 to season 2, not only do you see the development of one of the best Star Wars characters in all the canon, you also see how they were able to explain in a fairly logical sense of how she came to be and how she ended up disappearing towards the end of it.
Wait, did you say that animated movie's bad?
Yeah.
I
Do
did
you not
know
like it?
it's one of the better things that Star Wars has made, I recall.
So yeah, no. It was. I remember me and you went and saw it in theaters when it came out.
Yes, that was the last time I saw it.
Yep.
And I
I think
remember
that's
it
the last time
being
I saw it
great.
too.
Well, I guess it's more like a pilot for the show than it is an actual movie.
Hmm. Yeah,
Anyway, Ahsoka
and
herself.
yeah. So I know that you haven't seen much of Rebels, or and I'm assuming you haven't seen the newest season of Clone Wars because I haven't watched it yet either. I'm waiting for it to
I
finish.
I haven't watched. I think I maybe watched some of season one of Clone Wars and then whatever was on television when it was coming out. So
Okay.
I have
I would
not.
definitely, yeah. I mean, I know that I've watched, I think, all of Clone Wars up to the newest season, and I've seen, I believe, all of Rebels, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, the thing that I want to talk about here is you've got one of these characters who Dave Filoni's working on the Mandalorian, but it's also one of the more beloved characters of the Clone Wars and Star Wars as a whole. Um, my question is it because you've seen the first season Mandalorian, and one of the good things about it was that they didn't focus on the Force. Well, for me, they didn't focus on the Force and lightsabers and stuff like that. Is it a good idea to bring somebody like her into this series?
I mean, we don't need to discuss Mandalorian thoughts here, but
Because I know
you
me
only
and you are differed on it.
yes, heavily, but I mean, I think it's fine enough, I suppose, because unless they're hardcore Star Wars fans like you are,
Hmm.
most people who watch The Mandalorian are not the other are not going to watch Clone Wars or Rebels.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking like my family specifically who are all over The Mandalorian, but I know if I said, "Hey, this animated one's good too," they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm sure," and then just not watch it.
So do you see it more as they're just taking a great character from the animated series and bringing her to live action, or is it they're bringing it in to maybe entice people to go to the animated series?
I mean, it can be both. They also are probably testing waters to see, hey, so we got this Mandalorian thing that's pretty good. We got that Obi-Wan Kenobi thing that's in the works that
Hmm.
people will like. unless it's really bad, which I mean, it's got Ian McGregor in it, so probably not, at least
Yeah.
performance wise. Then if we get this Ahsoka thing and people like it, they probably want to do another show. So boom, there you go.
See, I think it would be cool to see like a live action series of her. The only thing I'm worried about, which me and you were both differed on the Mandalorian for reasons and everything, but I wonder if bringing her in is going to take away from what the first season was. I think that's my only worry is if bringing her in, whether it be because we don't know if it's going to be a small role, if she's going to play a, pivotal role, what it's going to be for this season, but I just don't want it to take away from the main character, the Mandalorian, or from where the story was in the first season.
I mean, that show was mostly him just kind of being there and taking part in other people's adventures.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine either they run into each other in some way and he helps her or she helps him, however they work it out.
So maybe like a 1 or 2 episode kind of deal. Just enough
Yeah.
to bring her into live action, just kind of set up that, oh, hey, we might actually do a whole show on her.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I don't have anything else to say on that. It's fun. I'm excited.
Well, I know this was just to talk about Ahsoka, but I did want to bring up another thing. Another casting for that show was Michael Biehn from Aliens, I think, right? Or is it the first Alien movie?
Michael Biehn. Let me look that up.
I think it's Aliens, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, he's going to be brought in as they're saying a bounty hunter, which kind of is, it's interesting to me that they're going for such names like, Michael Biehn, or
That's not how you spell Bean. Sorry, continue.
last year it was Carl Weathers. Old action stars being brought in as these kind of grizzled bounty hunters and everything. Yeah, he plays Corporal Hicks in Aliens. He also plays Kyle Reese in the Terminator, the original Terminator.
Yes, in the second I saw that because I'm going through his watchography, his filmography.
They're supposedly bringing him in as another bounty hunter, which I
That'd
mean,
be
it's
cool.
not. He might only be in there for one episode, but I kind of like that. Favreau's going out and getting these older guys that you really haven't heard much of in a long time, or haven't seen in a while, and he's kind of just bringing them back, giving them this chance to just do this little bounty hunter thing.
Hold on.
What's
I'm
up?
going to stop you right there to say, did you know there was a Magnificent Seven TV show?
I did not.
Yeah, he was in it. He was in
When
this
did it come out?
television. 1998 to 2000.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did not know that existed.
I didn't know that either. But anyway, so I mean, I think we're both pretty excited to see her in it. I think I'm more excited to see how they handle her in the show and the potential of her in live action.
Yeah.
And how that'll work out. I think, I'd like the Mandalorian to stay its own thing, but seeing her in there just like as an introduction gets me excited to see her in her own story.
I think the most difficult thing about it is to get me to believe that she can dual wield lightsabers like they're knives.
Yeah, it'll be really cool to see how the choreography works, though.
Because it looks cool in animation, but I can't imagine that to feel great when you're filming.
It'll be interesting, but I mean, Favreau's got the experience between Iron Man and,
if he actually directs it, he didn't direct any of The Mandalorian.
That's true, too. But they do have some pretty great directors that are coming on. They'd had a bunch of great ones last year. Not, widely known for what they did, but Taika Waititi, I mean, he did the last episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode.